is no universally recognized definition, my speech today is about violence against women as it is defined by the United Nations Declaration of the Elimination of Violence Against Women, which defines violence against women as any act of gender-based violence that results in or is likely to result in physical, sexual, psychological harm or suffering to women, including threats of such acts, coercion, or arbitrary deprivation of liberty, whether occurring in public or in private life. Violence against women is a human rights issue because it violates Article 3 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which states that everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of person. Violence against women is a universal issue. Although it is generally associated with developing parts of the world, it is really a problem everywhere, including industrialized countries such as Japan, where a 1993 study showed that 59% of a sample of women reported abuse from a partner. However, the argument that violence against women is more prevalent in developing countries is still valid. In developing countries such as Uganda, women's disempowerment is very much built into the system. Women who are abused by men are less likely to report to or be taken seriously by authorities because currently in Uganda there are no laws regarding domestic violence or sexual offense, and women's subjugation is a day-to-day occurrence, which is not seen as particularly alarming or outrageous. Violence against women occurs for several complex, interrelated reasons. Cultural factors that contribute to violence against women are the socialized belief that males are superior to women, cultural values that depict certain roles within relationships, and the acceptability of violence as a way to solve domestic disputes. Economic factors that contribute to violence against women are women's economic dependence on men, limited access to education and employment for women, and discriminatory laws regarding inheritance and property rights for women after divorce. Legal factors that contribute to violence against women are the lesser legal status of women in many countries, unfair treatment of women and girls by police and judicial systems, and low legal literacy among women. Political factors that contribute to violence against women are the underrepresentation of women in politics and the media, the risk of challenge to religious ideals, and the idea that family life is a private issue that should not be controlled by the government. The opposite of these issues can also be a cause for violence. For example, a woman's rise to economic and political powers is sometimes seen as a threat to males by males and leads to more violence. There are no positive effects of violence against women, not for women and not for the overall welfare of a country. For women, there are three categories of outcomes of violence against them: physical outcomes, mental health outcomes, and fatal outcomes. Physical outcomes include unwanted pregnancy, STDs, chronic pain, permanent disability, self-injurious behaviors, and many others. Some of the mental health consequences of violence against women are depression, fear, anxiety, eating disorders, obsessive-compulsive disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Fatal outcomes of violence against women include suicide, homicide, maternal mortality, and death from HIV or AIDS. Violence against women also has heavy socioeconomic costs. Direct monetary costs of this violence include the costs of police, judicial systems, medicine, housing, and social services. Non-monetary costs are increased mortality, abuse of alcohol and drugs, and depressive disorders. These monetary and non-monetary factors combined lead to economic consequences, such as decreased labor market participation, lower earnings, and less investment in savings, as well as serious human welfare consequences, such as the passing down of violence through generations, poor quality of life, reduced participation in democracy. Although violence against women is a serious and under-recognized issue, there is much that is being done about it today on a both local scale, in many places such as Minneapolis, as well as on a global scale by organizations such as the United Nations and the World Health Organization. It is important to stop to raise awareness about and pitch in to stop violence against women, so that someday all women can feel safe in their own home and country.